Astral projection. Now that seems to be like a hot topic of the world right now because everyone seems to want to do this, yet no one seems to understand what the hell they're doing when they're doing it or what it is. So I'm going to explain it to you because I had a pretty awesome experience, intentionally remote viewing and traveling in the astral last night, and I would like to share it with you. So I started doing HemiSync 2 days ago, and I did Focus 3 and I did Focus 10 last night, and I'm going to do Focus 12 this evening. And when you go in those focus states and you go out of body, like truly, you're in control of what you're doing. So I don't know what everyone talks about with their like being trapped by entities. So unless you're experiencing sleep paralysis and you're doing this unintentionally in your sleep, then you should be having a pretty awesome time when you do this. Because I'll share with you my experience. Yesterday, I was doing HemiSync Focus 10, and I get into Focus 10, which is mind awake, body asleep, and my entire body is completely numb. I cannot feel my body, and I am existing outside of my body, in my mind space that I'm in the astral, right? And I'm sitting there, and I start remote viewing, and I enter the consciousness of someone else, and I'm not going to explain to you what happened because it was actually really, really, really funny. But, I enter the consciousness of someone else, and I'm sitting here experiencing what they're experiencing, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then it shifted because I observed it. And then I was floating through the astral. I was no longer remote viewing, but I was floating through the astral in a nightclub, so to say, with lights and smoke around me, and I was just floating there listening to the music. And there were other things around there that were noticing me, and I was noticing them, and we were just sitting there. And then Bob Monroe brought me back, and as I entered my body back, he brings my senses back online. I start to feel myself enter my body again. He turns my senses on one at a time, and then he tells me to open my eyes. So that is the astral, and you can do it awake. So if you want to learn, join the Discord.